Welcome to yet another episode of The Daily Speaking Tree. Have you ever felt a profound calling? Saint Faustina did. In today's episode, we will uncover a life-altering encounter that led her to become a vessel of God's infinite mercy. Join me as we explore the depths of her diary and discover a message that resonates with us today. So let's read Saint Faustina's diary number 151. Once, when I was in the kitchen with Sister N, she got a little upset with me and as a punishment ordered me to sit on the table while she herself continued to work hard, cleaning and scrubbing. And while I was sitting there, the sisters came along and were astounded to find me sitting on the table, and each one had her say. One said that I was a loafer, and another, what an eccentric. I was postulant at the time. Others said, what kind of a sister will she make? Still, I could not get down because Sister had ordered me to sit there by virtue of obedience until she told me to get down. Truly, God alone knows how many acts of self-denial it took. I thought I would die of shame. God often allowed such things for the sake of my inner formation, but He compensated me for this humiliation by a great consolation. During benediction, I saw Him in great beauty. Jesus looked at me kindly and said, "My daughter, do not be afraid of sufferings. I am with you." Once, I had night duty, and I was suffering greatly in spirit because of the painting of the image. You remember the image? The image here is Divine Mercy image. And I no longer knew which way to turn because they were constantly trying to convince me that the whole thing was an illusion. On the other hand, one priest said that perhaps God wanted to be worshipped through this image and therefore I ought to try it to get it painted. Meanwhile, my soul was becoming extremely exhausted. When I entered the little chapel, I brought my head close to the tabernacle, knocked and said, "Jesus, look at the great difficulties I am having because of the painting of this Divine Mercy image." And I heard a voice from the tabernacle, "My daughter, your sufferings will not last much longer." One day, I saw two roads. One was broad, covered with sand and flowers, full of joy, music, and all sorts of pleasures. People walked along it, dancing and enjoying themselves. They reached the end without realizing it. And at the end of the road, there was a horrible precipice. That is the abyss of hell. The souls fell blindly into it, and as they walked, so they fell. And their number was so great that it was impossible to count them. And I saw the other road, or rather a path, for it was narrow and strewn with thorns and rocks. And the people who walked along it had tears in their eyes, and all kinds of sufferings befell them. Some fell down upon the rocks, but stood up immediately and went on. At the end of the road, there was a magnificent garden filled with all sorts of happiness, and all these souls entered there. At the very first instant, they forgot all their sufferings. Once, when there was adoration at the convent of the Sisters of Holy Family, I went there in the evening with one of our sisters. As soon as I entered the chapel, the presence of God filled my soul. I prayed as I do at certain times, without saying a word. Suddenly, I saw the Lord who said to me, "Know that if you neglect the matter of the painting of the image and the whole work of mercy, you will have to answer for a multitude of souls on the day of judgment." After these words of our Lord, a sudden fear filled my soul, and alarm took hold of me. Try as I would, I could not calm myself. These words kept resounding in my ears. So, I will not only have to answer for myself on the day of judgment, but also for the souls of others. These words cut deep into my heart. When I returned home, I went to the little Jesus, fell on my face before the Blessed Sacrament, and said to the Lord, "I will do everything in my power, but I beg you to be always with me and to revive my strength to do your holy will. For you can do everything, while I can do nothing of myself." It has happened to me for some time now that I immediately sense in my soul when someone is praying for me. And I likewise sense it in my soul when some soul asks me for prayer. Even though they do not speak to me about it, the feeling is one of certain disquiet, as if someone were calling me. And when I pray, I obtain peace.
Ojcze Przedwieczny, ofiaruję Ci ciało i krew, duszę i bóstwo najmilszego